important celebration is not just New Year's Day, it's New Year's Eve. Now just think about your own culture. Your celebration of the Eve is a bigger deal, isn't it? Yeah, you know what you were doing on New Year's Eve. Both of you. It was a big deal. So, I'm here to let you have what they call Chinese New Year 101. You thought you knew the whole story. You don't know the whole story, right? So I'm here today to give you an idea of what is behind that Chinese New Year story. For example, there are traditions. I'm going to name 5 of them because there's so many traditions, there's so many cultures. But the 5 top traditions is number 1, that New Year's Eve dinner is the most important meal of the whole year, really, the whole year. And FYI, did you know that meal has to be vegetarian? Happy now, Stella? Vegetarian, and many of you as well. How to be a vegetarian? New Year's Eve. And that dinner is really important. All families members have to attend. I don't care if the Super Bowl is going on out, I don't care if you have a hot date. Everybody has to come, and that evening has to have a meal together. So the other tradition is you gotta have red everywhere. Do I see red? Yeah. Oh, thank you all for wearing that. Red is important. Red is very, very important. And also you have to have noise makers. You have to have noise makers. So let me talk about red. Okay? People say, why red? You think it's just a happy person? Of course. So is there an echo here? Lots of echo. So red, we have red everywhere. But you've noticed that there are things called the power of word, the power of intention. You don't want to just have any word. We're going to put all kinds of characters on there. So today, I'm going to also have you go Chinese 101. For example, if you're going to put something red, don't make it blank. Put a word on it. And what is this word? Gong. Okay? You still didn't know where I'm going at, right? Yeah. You know what gong means? It means to wish. Wish. All right. So some of you know what the next word is. Is what? Hey. Hey. Hey, 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 hey. And what is the word hey means? Happiness. Yeah. And speaking of happiness, sometimes you want 2 of these. So you see I have some banners that have 2 of them. That means double happiness. Wow. You don't want just one hey. You want a hey, hey. You want double happiness. For example, some people say, why do you have this? If there's an Asian in there, you're supposed to hang those at weddings. You're not supposed to, look, you have 2 of them. That means quadruple happiness? Yeah. Let me ask you this, they have it at weddings because they want to have the wedding couple to be double happy. Is that fair to us single people? Don't we deserve happiness? Don't we also deserve double happiness? Yeah. So I'm going to upgrade all your information. Yeah, I know what that symbol means now, and yeah, I know you usually have it at weddings, but I'm going to say I want double happiness. Every day happy? Every day. Every day. Every day. And all these words have meanings for, So for example, this means year has abundance. Okay? 年年有余. Oh, can you say it? 年年有余. Wow. So because Chinese is a phonetic language, the word yu also means fish. Oh, so it's a homonym, isn't it? I wish you lots of fish. That means I wish you a lot of abundance. Abundance. So now you sort of get the idea, whoa, I know what it is. So I'm talking about red, okay, I stopped my message with, go, hey, What's the next word? Fa. Not fat. Fa. And what does it mean? Burst. Burst. Flourishing. Yeah, so far you got the idea. And what's that last word? Joy. Okay. Joy. That means prosperity. Ooh. Do you all want to burst with prosperity? Yeah. And want to burst with happiness? But here's another word that I want you all to know. What is this word? Anybody know what this word? Yeah, it means oh, okay. Wouldn't you love to have this hanging around your life too? Absolutely, absolutely. So you got the message. We gotta celebrate New Year's by having this really big meal with our loved ones. That one meal is important, and we gotta have red all over the place, and we have to have noise makers and firecrackers and so forth. So you say, noisemakers, red, meal together, it's gotta be vegetarian. So I used to ask my parents, like, why do we do that? I go, I don't know. We've always been doing that. So I said to myself, when I have my 3 kids, I'm not gonna go, it's the oldest tradition. So I did my study, and I found out why that last summer, possibly, and why red, why noisemakers, why vegetarian. Oh, do you want to know the story? Yes. Well, if I have to tell that story, I can't wear this shirt because I have to tell you a story that's very dark. It's very sad. So off comes the red shirt. A long, long, long time ago. 4,721 years to be exact. China was a vast country, huge, but there weren't too many people. That's kind of unusual. It's the most populous country in the world, not too many people. Do you know why? Only 10% of the land is aerial. She's using that fancy word. Arable, what does that mean? That means you can't plant stuff. You can only find it in 10% of the place. So here's this beautiful vast land, but only 10%, and they have primitive farming tools. That famine, floods. Do you know about floods? Yeah. So famine, flood, ports, farming instrument. Legend has it that the biggest killer of all was a creature named Nian. Yeah, that's the name of it. Nian. You know the sound is pretty foreboding, isn't it? Yeah. So this Nian turns out to be the most horrific thing you can think of. I heard legends has it has the face, the head of like a horse, but it had fangs, you see. And it had these muscular legs, and the ends of it are these claws, these talons that just like razor sharp. And it had a body that is full of armor plate, just the entire body. And it's got a tail that could just whip around and get you with full accuracy. Are you scared now, Roy? With accuracy. So what happens was that year after year, this creature would come out, and every village would have something to report. Oh, it was this, it was that. You know, they vary in the report how this grotesque thing looks like. You know, it's got these eyes bulging out, out of caverns' head. But the most common tale was the devastation it left behind. The carnage. Human beings and beasts of burden, mauled and eaten. It was just such a horrible tale. Finally, some villagers at College Heights Church said, enough! Are we not human intelligence, the man and the beast, who's more superior? I've got my frontal lobe cortex. I can figure things out. So, College Heights villagers, come on. Just come together. We're going to do something year after year. You just become a sacrifice. CSL, can you also help out? So you had a meeting, didn't you? You had this council meeting and go, wait a minute. What do we know about this creature? It's the hibernating one. It comes out only once a year. We've got enough time to figure out what to do. And then Sammy said, it's an animal. What do you know about animal path? Well, let's see. I know that animals are frightened of loud noises. Yeah. Hey kids, if you hear that the beast is coming, you need to have some noisemaker. And if firecrackers were not invented at that time, 4,000. So you just get whatever you want. You get some noisemakers. Get some noisemakers. Yeah, you get some noisemakers. Okay? And then Susan says, I know that the animals are afraid or agitated by the color red. Oh, yeah, El Toro. So what you want to do is you need to have some red around. So when that creature comes on, just red. Oh, red. Ah, that was red. So when that creature comes, you are ready, aren't you? Go Niners. Yeah. Okay. So red is red. What about animals, what else? They have a really keen sense of smell, don't they, Kevin? If you were slaughtering animals to eat, they could smell you miles away. Okay? So if you know right around now is when that creature comes out, you're going to slaughter some animals. Now, let's keep it vegetarian. Let's be creative and find some ways to cook and cook delicious meal, not without meat in it. So you got it. You say, all right, it's got to be a vegetarian meal. I'm going to gather all my families and friends, because maybe that might be the last supper. Seriously. Every year this creature comes out. It doesn't care if you're a Catholic or Buddhism, it doesn't care if you're Republican or Democrat. It just says, David, yummy. Yeah, a big one. I'll get you out. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. When that creature comes out, and you know it's going to come out, clockwork, right around toward the end of the year, you got to get ready. So I would need to have college high people. You've got to get ready, okay? So, all right. Someone's got to wave this red shirt around. Okay, go Niners. Okay. You know that creature's going to come back. We just got rid of it. Okay? And we're going to make sure we have vegetables around here. Yeah, vegetables. I just happen to have vegetable. If that creature comes again, Marilyn, you get ready. Okay, all right. Another Marilyn, come on, this is a bok choy. Eva says, come on, I'm a vegetarian sort of sometimes. Yeah. You gotta get your vegetables. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But you also have noisemakers. I need some little kids to be participating. It can't be all the big people, okay? So I have little kids. Do I have little kids around here? Oh, I got a couple of little kids here. Okay, Gigi. Here's a noisemaker. When that creature comes, you better be nice and loud. Okay. It's not come on, I just need here's a big kid. You know, when that monster comes out, I need to hear some noise and so forth. Okay, some of you would say, wow, I love it. Carrots anymore? Yes, she says, I'll take that. I'll take it. Oh, I've got enough there. I've got another kid back there. Okay? Little David. Little David. Can you do this? Little David. He's big and he's strong. That's David. Yeah. Little David. Big David. See? What? Oh, what about, and there's a little Luna. Little Luna's got a kid. What about we look at little Luna? Little Luna. Oh, come on. Little Luna. You've seen them at parade, huh? And little Luna, this is bigger than little Luna's head. But she's going to be in charge. When that monster comes, show them that vegetable. And because truly, some little kid in the village did say, you know, that creature is just hungry. Isn't that true? Well, you make it out to be a monster. Absent some malice. It just wants to eat. Serious. Just wants to eat. And so the little creature says, you know, after they get full on vegetables, that's fine. They'll go. Why don't we convert it into a vegetarian? Ah, that's true. So, cook a really sumptuous vegetarian meal, and I'm sure New Year's Eve is coming. I'm going to make sure that when that monster comes back again, when that monster comes back Villages, are you ready? Now, who needs to have a red shirt that goes, oh, yeah, let's see. Everybody's got something. Pat, come on, 49ers, okay, okay, well, I have your vegetable for the day. Okay, all right. So, if that creature comes, I want you to get ready, okay? All right, do I know New Year's Eve has approached? It's right around the time. Here comes that creature. Woo. Oh, is it gone? Is it gone? Is it gone? Oh, it is gone, fat, thin, happy, and not to come back again for another year. Wow. So did you? Yeah. And so New Year's Day, the other tradition is that you are to put on a red outfit, preferably something that is new, You put your red outfit on because now is the time to actually celebrate. And what do you also do? You start to prepare red envelopes and candies. Ooh. Now before the end of the service, everybody's going to come over here to get a red envelope and sweets. Because that's what we wish all of you in this new year to come. You have survived this catastrophe that happens every year, and you just sort of passively say, okay, I'm going to be sick, I'll give you sacrifice this year. But this is different, isn't it? This year, New Year's Day came, and the tradition is you go visit all your friends and relatives. Why? Because previously, Susan, when you came to visit, where's Uncle John? Right? No. David, here you still are alive. Yummy dog. It's like you're so happy to see he's still there. You're happy to see Sammy's there. That's why you go door to door and visit all your relatives, because now you are so happy. She with all her grandchildren be here, and this is why New Year's is celebrated. So now you know the story behind. Now the red envelope part, let me just make sure that this is part of Chinese 101 etiquette. About the red envelopes, you know they're given to children and single people. Oh, so let me tell you, this is etiquette. So if you're going to give a red envelope and you put $1 in it, Chinese tradition is you don't just give one envelope with $1 because you want everybody to be in pairs at least. You wish that nobody in the new year has to be alone. So you always give it 2. Yeah, so there's $1 in here, so it's $2. $2. You give them in pairs because you never wish somebody to be alone. Ah, that makes sense. But if I'm cheap and I have only one envelope, I put $2 in there. I put $2 in there. And if I'm really, really cheap, because I had to give a presentation for 30 little kids, that's a lot of moolah. So I put 2 nickels in them. 2 nickels in them. So the folder has 2 nickels. Therefore, if you're going to be giving the envelope, now you say, well, why children and why single people, you say? Remember I told you when China was not populated enough? You see, what do you want? You want children. That's part of your population. You want them to grow and prosper because in feast and famine you don't have them today. So why single people? Come on, get married. I want some grandkids. Now I'm going to update it. Do you need to be married and have children? No. But you did not hear this from me. Traditionally, you want them to get married and have children. That's traditional. You still do. That's not traditional. That is true. And so what you do is that you want to give it to children. You want to give it to single people. So that's why the way it is. But now we update this. You can give it to whoever you want to wish for prosperity. People who want the money, people who need the money, and so forth. So right now, for the celebration annually, the message, of course, we've had this talk back portion. What did you get out of today's talk? Remember, all this was sort of mysterious, so we can just do these traditional things, but they're empty if you just do them. However, if you now know the real story behind Chinese New Year. Okay, so Polly, is this when you get to talk, or everybody else gets to talk?
Sure, just open it up.
Okay, so I'm opening up for discussion or comments on what you have learn or question about what we shared today. So we have David first.
You said the name of the dragon was Nian. Does that mean year? Is that what they're using now? Nian?
Yes.
Nian for year?
The word Nian means year. So this Nian keeps coming annually. It is a good name. Yeah, annually.
This was fascinating. This was wonderful. But I have a question. Why is the parade 2 weeks later?
Because they really want to milk this. Chinese New Year officially goes 15 days. Yeah, 15 days. But if you really want to be practical, there are a lot of people who travel a lot during China to go home for this dinner. And if you know China before it became so prosperous, it took you 3 days on the train to get to where you were, and then another 3 days to get back. And extended, yes. That's a good question. Polly.
It never occurred to me before this morning that about the parallel with St. Francis. Do you know the story of St. Francis and the wolf?
I just know friends.
Terrorized the village. This is Italy, okay, so around the other side of the world. Francis went out to meet the wolf and discovered what? The wolf was hungry. So he fed the wolf, and the wolf quit terrorizing the village. It would be fascinating to know if there's any crosstalk between those two stories, you know, Silk Road traders and that kind of stuff, or if they're simply parallel things that grew up completely separate. But the idea that if he's hungry and you feed it, maybe you could avoid disaster.
That is true. And what else did we know about St. Francis? He loved animals. He loved animals. Isn't that this is the reason why my roommate Stella, who played the dragon today, she's vegetarian because it breaks her heart to slaughter an animal. Period. You see. And so if you could think of ways to make something delicious that's vegetable, why not? Why not? Young lady back there.
A lot of our festivals are seasonal and correspond to equinoxes or solstices or something. Did Lunar New Year correspond to flood season or planting season or something like that?
Okay, so she gave you the mic in case people didn't hear you, that a lot of vegetables are seasonal, and they're...
Festivals are seasonal.
Oh, festivals are seasonal.
Does New Year correspond to the flood season or the planting season or something like that? Because it's not an equinox or a solstice.
That's true, yes. And so if you learn something with our little village for CHCC, do you think that we should share it with Palo Alto? Yeah. So I forgot to mention the story that once this village decided to do that, they sent it to all the villages around. So when this Nian came out, it came to this village, red, frightened and noise, and went to the second village and the same thing, red and noise and stuff like that. And then village after village, this creature came. But after the 10th village, and all it saw was vegetables, it's like, ugh, I'm full. I'm going back to hibernation. You see, so the story goes that you share your ideas as a community. You see, so this is how about Santa Clara County? Will we share with them? Yeah. Well, how about out of state? You want to share with Florida? Well, that's a trick question. Who's in Florida? Yeah. All right. Okay. How about beyond borders? How about other countries? Ukraine, yeah. How about sharing it with Russia? Yes, you see? Yes, we will share it with Russia. Kevin.
I think what Karen was asking is the timing of it. Is it seasonal? So it's called Lunar New Year. It's something, is it is it like, what I've heard is that it's the first new moon after the solstice, or the darkest day of the year, the shortest day of the year, but I don't know.
That is so true. It is the day after the winter solstice, which is the darkest day, the shortest daylight. Isn't that the case? But right after the darkest day, the shortest, what happens? Then it becomes, every day becomes lighter and lighter and lighter. But that's a good point. And it is the Lunar New Year because there are 13 months to a lunar year. And they follow the moon instead of the sun. The Gregorian calendar is the sun, but the lunar calendar. And why do we call it lunar instead of Chinese New Year, which I grew up knowing? It's because in 2020, which is the year of the rat, and somebody does not want to call it the Chinese New Year because they brought us the Wuhan flu. Ooh. You sort of see how sensitive that name is. So it's fine. We'll call it the Lunar New Year. Yes, Karen.
Also in recognition of the Vietnamese and other communities that share the holiday.
That's true. Yes. Yes. And most Asian countries go by the lunar calendar.
We
And
have the Jet Festival in San Jose right now. It's a big deal.
yeah. Right. FYI, there are 12 animals, but the Vietnamese decided to make the bunny year into a cat year. Ooh, yeah. So you all know the reason why the cat is not part of the 12 animals? You?
No, why?
Oh, you want to know why? I was going to tell you. Right?
Struck me as is a pretty concrete story in a way. You know, animals get hungry and they come and eat our game and they'll come and eat us. But the most interesting thing for me is that it's a dragon. It's a mythological creature that really only exists in our imagination. But sometimes our imagination can create a lot of devastation. And in the story, what we're asked to do is confront that, is to face our own imagination, our dragons, maybe fear itself. So it does kind of have a symbolic aspect to it.
Yes. There's a lot of symbology in today's stories in that, you face your fears, but instead of having this fear consume you, you just think about solutions. You figure out what to do. And if you love animals and you don't want to slaughter, then you become really creative with your dishes. And then if you found something that's really good for you, share it. And this is why when Polly says, "You want to give this talk again?" I go, "Well, do I want to share this story?" Okay. Now, all of you know the story behind the Chinese New Year. In fact, there are a lot of Asians don't know the story behind the New Year, do they? Until they start to look into it and go, "Oh, that's why we do what we do." Vegetarian meals. Yes.
So why is there no cat?
What's that?
Why is there no cat?
Oh, why is there no cat? Well, the first, it goes, it starts with the rat, the mouse. And by the way, all the names have a little euphemistic part. You don't call somebody a chicken, you call them a rooster. You don't call them, you don't call them a sheep, you call them a ram. So the animal order, the rat comes first, and then the cow, the oxen, then the tiger, and so forth. So the story behind it was that all these animals were going to pay tribute to the emperor, who's going to make them part of the official animals of the kingdom. So she was going to have 12 animals altogether. So they all lined up to do that. And the rat was way behind, way behind, and then the cat and the mouse were way behind. Well, the oxen was walking, and guess what? The rat quickly jumped over the backs of all the animals, got to the front where the oxen was, jumped in front of the line, and that means the 13th animal, which was the cat, didn't get included. Boy, that cat hates that rat, huh? And from then on, the cat and the rat are not friends, you see. But leave it to the Vietnamese says, "I'm going to bring that cat back." You see this little cat going like this, The Egyptians worship the cat, so all of you cat lovers go, thank goodness. But the poor bunny. This is the year of the hare. So the question is, what does the year of the hare portends? What is it? If you think about it, 2020 was the year of the rat. What happened in 2020? Yeah, bubonic plague. It's very similar to that. And then the following year was the year of the oxen. You just plod along and you go under and you just do what you need to do. But after the year came the tiger year, which was 2022. You said enough. The tiger, and you came out and you wanted to do this. And this was an awful year, wasn't it? Yeah. There are times when you get a little too violent, too untenable, which is what a tiger is. So all of us as human beings go, no more tigers, please. With just enough violence, enough ferocity. Just bring us something, a bunny rabbit. Okay? So now all of us are you're given a break. This year, a rabbit, what do we know about rabbit? They're kind, they're sweet, they, that's a good say. They're hopping, but they're also humping. Lots of little bunnies around. So it's going to be a prolific year. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a more gentle year. Just you do, because we asked for it. Power of intention. You've had it with a lion. You've had it with a tiger. You want to have a gentle year. Is that true? Yes. Okay. So, one more question. So why is a dragon? It's mythical, as Roy would say. So when we were telling the story about the devastation, the carnage and everything like that, and I have scientists, because I teach at Genentech, also, there's no such creature. I said there were predators, I'm pretty sure.
A year of the dragon. Why is there a year of the dragon? You don't think a dragon says...
No, that's a good year. If you're born in the year of the dragon, it is not only a mythical creature, it's a majestic creature. So of all the animals in the zodiac, the year that you were born, if you were born in the year of the dragon, you lucky thing, you. Yeah. Any of you born in the year of the rabbit? Oh, okay. You have to be careful. It's one of those years where when it's your year, you have to be careful. Yeah, but don't worry because bunnies know what to do to avoid predators. That's one thing we do know about this. So you're our go-to person when we're in trouble, because you number one, you're approachable, you're friendly, you see, and you're as cute as all get go. You're cute as all get go. You're resourceful. Yes, yeah. Carmina has a question. What do we do with the born in the year of the rat? Nobody's going to raise their hand. I'm going to ask who's born in the year of the rat. Well, I have a daughter who is born in the year of the rodent, they call it, the rat. They are resourceful. If you have an economy that is just so starved and going downhill and nothing's happening, leave it to that mouse to find something out of nothing. Go into garbage and be able to survive on that. If you are in that kind of a desperate situation, you want a rat for a friend. You really do. Yeah. So with all the animals, you can see wonderful things about them, but also very threatening. You want the ferocity of a tiger to deal with all this stuff, but you also don't want the ferocity of a tiger because it just huge power. But the point is that when they were describing this creature that came in and devoured it could be a mountain lion, could have been a saber-toothed tiger, it could be a hyena, but whatever it was something horrible, and it was carnivorous. So if you want to be clever about it, make that carnivore into a vegetarian. Yeah, Stella goes, yes, I'm working on it. Working really hard. But that makes sense. Turn that carnivore. If you get full just on a delicious vegetarian meal, you don't need that steak, Roy. Come on. Just try me. try mix. Okay. All right, are there any more questions? If not, oh. Yeah. The candies and the red envelopes are compliments of Reverend Linda and then also Wendy from Center for Spiritual Living. Yes, and Carmina also. Okay, so don't forget to get your red envelope. One, because there's 2 of something in there. Okay? And then the sweets to make sure your new year coming up is sweet. Does that sound a good wish? Yeah. All right. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Elliotte. Come join us in our circle.
It's good.
Gee, I wish we had get us all this red
Well,
together. That would be very cool. Are there any celebrations besides the one we already had that you'd like to mention? Birthdays or anniversaries?
My mom's birthday, Astrid, Subi.
Oh.
On Valentine's Day.
ooh.
Okay, you'll have to come back, Astrid. Yeah, that's good. Valentine's Day, lucky lady. Okay. No, okay. Let's say, well, I had a little trouble with my mask. Oh, well, I'm speaking, I could take it down. Okay. Let's say the Lord's Prayer together in whichever way feels right to you.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
I think we have a final chant. It seemed appropriate. There is one world, one people, one fellowship. Now go in peace, remembering the joy of communion, community, and celebration. And don't forget your goodies on the altar. Glad you